Hi everyone, welcome to Christine's Technique Hacks. So today the hack will be for shimmies, and specifically shimmies for everybody. So I've noticed when I'm doing my own shimmies that sometimes, especially in videos, you can't see what I'm doing. You can't see the shimmy. And no matter how hard I try with my knees and pushing back and forth, it doesn't look that good or not that obvious, more accurately. So then I was thinking about, okay, what shimmies would look good on somebody who's my shape? What shimmies would look good on somebody who's of a different shape? Because I have students of all different shapes. I have students who are really lean, really thin, and then people who are my size, different shapes. Of course, maybe they're more bottom heavy, maybe they're like me, an apple shape. So here's my technique hack. When you are straighter, without very big hips, it is not that beautiful to do a shimmy that is straight leg. So the straight leg shimmy, or the Egyptian 4/4 shimmy, which goes forward and back with your knees, 1 2 1 2 1 2. Yes. So when I'm doing it facing you, you can't really see too much of the movement. I think that it's only apparent when I turn my back and I'm doing it facing backwards, then you can see it on my hips. Because the 4/4 shimmy, as we know, moves the fat on your body, on your lower body, and it shakes it. So when you have a lot of body mass around the torso, around this area, when you shake it like this with your knees, it doesn't really shake as obviously as if you do something else. So what I like to do for myself is that instead of doing the straight leg Egyptian shimmy, I tend to bend my knees a little bit more and tuck in my pelvis just really slightly, so that I'm doing half of a hip shimmy and half an Egyptian shimmy. So here is immediately you can see that my shimmy has become bigger and more obvious, because I'm loosening my hips, loosening my pelvis, and I'm doing half of a hip shimmy and kind of an Egyptian shimmy. So a hip shimmy would be here. So this is just bent knees, pelvis forward, and you're doing your hip shimmy like so. But I like to do it with a straight knee, but with the pelvis a little bit tucked in, so it's more looser, and then you can see the shimmy. On the other side of the spectrum, when you're very lean and your hips aren't that wide, and you have a lower body fat mass index, then this technique will also help you, because now you're using your hips. Your hip is relaxed, your pelvis is slightly tucked in, and you're doing a shimmy that goes side to side instead of just going straight forward and back. I think this technique is also really useful for people who like to wear dresses, because when you wear a dress, of course your abdominals are covered, your fat is kind of covered, so then it's not that obvious when it's supposed to be shaking. When you're wearing a two-piece, I think that the Egyptian shimmy straight leg is really beautiful. It gives a lot of movement and it's very nice, but when you're wearing a dress, it's kind of nice to lean back a little bit and tuck in your pelvis and do an Egyptian shimmy with the looser hips. If you still prefer to do a straight leg Egyptian shimmy or a 4/4 shimmy, then that's great too. But I suggest that try to make your knee movement or your leg movement as big as possible, so you have the widest range forward and back on your knees. Keep them straight but relaxed, and this will give you the biggest shimmy that you can do and the most obvious one. If you make it too small and too tense, like the tension shimmy, that doesn't really work very well on my body shape, because when I do this tension shimmy, it's too small. You can't really see it. You can see it from the back a little bit, but definitely not on the front, because the front, I'm doing it now and you can't see anything. So I hope that helps you or helps your students. See you next time. Thank you for watching.